Hello Tacticians, it's Nox here, and today we are looking at a preview of Arjac, the champion of the Great Wolf, and the event to unlock him starts tomorrow. So let's have a quick look at this guy to see what he's actually like. So his first trait is that he is resilient, which means at any time he takes lethal damage and he's not already at 1 health, he will instead go to 1 health if he is not overkilled. Now, just as a reminder, the overkilled is basically if you deal more than twice the damage needed to kill a unit, then that unit is overkilled. So if the unit's on 200 health, if you did 400 damage, it would be overkilled. Secondly, he has the Deep Strike, which means in its first turn it may instantly move to any free hex on the battlefield that is not adjacent to an enemy unit. And finally, he is wearing Terminator armor. The first hit each turn against this character deals minus 75% damage. Hits dealing psychic and direct damage are excluded. His active skill, Foe Hammer, will attack a target unit within range 2 for power damage, and the target is then stunned until the beginning of Arjac's next turn. For each character that has been defeated in the battle, it deals extra damage. Now, stunned is an ability we've come across with Ghazghkull, the Orc raid boss, and what it does, it will reduce the target's unit movement to 1, and it will deal less damage and cannot use its abilities. So in PvP, this could be used in 2 ways. You either attack them very early on in the game to make sure they can't use their active ability, or you wait until later on in the game where that 405 damage is going to be multiplied by the number of units you've already destroyed and will probably kill a character in 1 shot. His passive is his Anvil Shield. Arjac blocks an additional 134 damage, and when he blocks, he covers the attacker's hex in ice. If Arjac is below 35% health, or if his attacker is on a hex covered in ice, he gains an 18% block chance, and his blocks stun any melee characters until the end of the attacker's next turn. Ice is something new that was introduced with the Space Wolves, so any units entering hex end their movement, excluding flying and unstoppable units. However, units on hexes with ice will take 25% more crit damage. So the benefit here is if they are attacking Arjac, they may end up putting ice on the hex that they're currently occupying, which means when you attack them, you're going to be doing more damage if you're lucky enough to crit. It will also prohibit their movement. So fairly good skills in a PvP environment. The problem, however, does come from his movement. He is only movement 2, so his mobility is a bit of an issue in both PvP and the guild raids. He is also, apart from his active, a melee only character. But let's see these skills in action. So Calendus here is at Silver 1 with the appropriate upgraded gear, as is Arjac. Now, we are about to teleport Arjac in to trigger Calendus's Overwatch. There's a crit and a block, and well, as you can see, it basically did nothing. And not only that, Calendus is now on a block of ice, and since it's still Arjac's go and he is within 2, he can throw the Foe Hammer at Calendus, which didn't do much damage, which isn't surprising as the damage only really ramps up once we've started to kill a couple of the other characters. So it's Calendus's turn now, and as you can see, we cannot use the active ability and we can only move 1. We'll try and snipe again, doing 22 damage. We'll let Calendus have another go. This time Calendus is going to get some high ground and is going to snipe. 121 damage. This is showing the power of his Terminator armor. Now, bear in mind, it is only the first attack of the round, and as such, if you are facing this character, you want to hit him first with a multi-attack and then follow up with Calendus, as we'll see in a minute. Okay, so now Calendus has brought along a friend to make sure that Arjac's Terminator armor doesn't get in the way of her powerful shots. So even with crit there on the snipe, still 153, but again, that Terminator armor showing how powerful it really is. Snapper Arc will fire, so that will remove the Terminator armor bonus, and then Calendus is free to shoot. So even with a crit, there was a block there as well, doesn't do much damage. And again, they'll fire. This time, Calendus is going to take the high ground and fire again. Again, a crit and a block, and Arjac And Arjac is still only at half health after taking 3 crits from Calendus. And as you can see, those ice tiles which are left everywhere, if this was proper PvP, they would certainly cause some movement issues for everyone. So we are really going to have to put some firepower into Arjac to actually down him in the PvP. Let's try something different. For this test, we're going to bring a Psycho along. Now we know the damage from Calendus isn't going to be huge to begin with because of the Terminator armour, so we'll use the psychic damage. Now, the question here is, does Calendus' attack now have the 75% damage reduction? It looks like it does, so it's the first attack that isn't a psychic or direct damage attack will still be reduced by 75%. Bear this in mind if and when you face Arjac in live PvP, or indeed in the arena. So now the biggest question of them all, can Arjac survive an Overwatch shot from Ravas? Now we all know the best thing is to just avoid Overwatch from Ravas completely, because Ravas basically nukes everyone in Overwatch, but let's see what happens. And yes, Arjac, believe it or not, survives with some health. Now, this is the first time I've seen him survive with more than 1 health, and I imagine it's because the first one was the crit, which enabled his block from the anvil shield to stop most of the rest of the damage. Could you use this in live PvP where you've got a healer to heal Arjac back up? Maybe, but normally when this happens, Arjac is left on 1 health. But for those of you who really, really hate Ravas, this could be an answer. So we have seen what a resilient character this is. But is that resilience enough to get him into your tournament arena or normal arena teams? And I've never been on the fence as much as I am now. I can see uses for this guy. Imagine, if you will, their Ravas has gone on Overwatch to make sure that you don't pick up a power-up. This guy could step onto that power-up and probably laugh in Ravas's face and have a bit of a tickle on him. But he has only got a movement of 2. Will that slow movement really let him down after that initial few turns where he is in position? His hammer throw is probably going to be a fantastic finisher too. And his anvil shield, for every time he's hit, if he blocks, it will place ice under the opponent's characters, which means your critical hits will do more damage. I think time is the only thing that will tell, and I personally can't wait to use him in the next arena that I possibly can. But what about other places? What about guild raids? I don't think he's going to be used there personally. The fact that he is a melee character and the fact that he's fairly slow, I believe, will rule him out. He will also, without a shadow of doubt, be fairly useful in the legendary events where he can be one of the characters to be used. So what do you think of Arjac? Is he going to change the meta in live PvP tournament? Is he going to be sitting on the bench like Darkstrider? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the battlefield.